back for the third half of the Schnozzcast, episode 63. For now, it's Sunday, March 15th.
Yeah, you guys are getting a very special episode today.
God.
So
You're so lucky. Lucky people.
What's the equation for pi?
3.14151552.
So
Keep going.
So is that why
I
on
don't feel like it.
3.14 we're doing 3 parts of the podcast?
Sure. Yeah, we definitely planned this.
No, it's because I like saying third half.
Actually, if you did it on the 22nd of July, that's closer to pi than 3.14. I saw that on the internet.
Mathematics.
22.7.
Joseph Arguido.
Closer to pi.
Well, that's
It wasn't called. Everyone listening is like, I'm now smart.
a strong
I
start.
am now dumber for
Everyone
that's
now
a-
listening.
May
That's
God
a
have
stupid.
mercy.
Sam, you're
That's a stretch saying everyone listening. The only listener we had is now on the podcast with us. So
You were listening to your own podcast, I noticed. Nick Bader is on.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, look. Hey, we can see some people now.
Can we? You see it.
Cory and Joe.
That's like
Joe, why are you logged into the podcast?
That's the same thing when Nick logs on to watch his own podcast and Mary Poppins when Bert throws down his hat and then puts the money in to get the ball rolling. Nobody?
Wow.
Really?
That's very specific.
Oh,
No, I
remember
haven't.
that?
No.
He does that.
Sounds awesome.
Best as a podcast can be. I've got no listeners, and you know it's not me.
Chim chimney, chim
Is that
chim.
the Who's Town?
No,
what are you doing?
Chim Chimney from Mary Poppins. He made a reference to Mary Poppins.
Gotcha.
Don't let me go into a rendition of Spoonful of Sugar.
Oh, please do.
I triple dog dare you.
I was to say that's.
Reference of Spoonful of Sugar.
I could only
1 and a
imagine
2
how
and a
amazing.
3 and a 4.
Jogan McConoff.
No. Oh my god.
Always Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, it's so
I have no other reference.
It's so
I have no other.
it's so depressing.
Oh, the Kermit the Frog is depressing?
The Kermit the Bob the Frog for everything.
Oh, God. Okay. That's fair.
For everything. I mean, it's good when it's in reference to the Muppets, but when it's just your only voice. As my friend Danielle used to say, that's the only one I have.
Well, if you only got one.
She would talk out of the corner of her mouth, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then Cory said, "Oh, dude, why are you talking?" I'm like, "God, Cory talks kind of weird." And she's like, "I can't do any other voices. That's the only one I can do."
Wait, Danielle tried to impersonate my voice?
That was her voice for everyone.
Okay, fair
She would close her mouth and only
Danielle,
talk out of the
your
corner.
girlfriend?
No,
Oh, Kearns?
Kearns.
Okay.
Cancelot.
I was going to say,
Cancel- cancel.
your
Cancel.
girlfriend doesn't do any impressions. She's made that very
No.
clear.
She'd be like, "Oh my god, I went to the store and I was talking to this guy and he was like, Jay, what are you doing over here?" And I'm like, "What? Why are you talking out of the corner of your mouth?" She's like, "I can't do voices."
I was talking to a Pakistani and he was like, "Gee, what are you doing?"
So then she's like,
That's
"Oh,"
what
and I went.
Pakistani sounds?
She'd be like, "Oh," then I went to your mom's house. She was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you before in a long time." And I'm like, "So the guy from the supermarket was at my mom's house?" And she's like, I this is all I do.
But for those who can't
Oh,
see,
God.
she did do it out of different sides of the mouth.
Yeah, she would. She'd switch it up.
But it sounded exactly the same.
Well, I mean, she tried.
She didn't have a different sound on the left side than she did on the right side.
No.
Okay.
No, but it's all about the effort.
You know what would be impressive? If you can knock out a great Miss Piggy scream.
Oh, I can't do that.
You know what I'm talking about, though? That or whatever she does. That's the best idea.
Miss Piggy's more like a Kirby, like kind of a high pitch. I don't know what the scream's like, but
Yeah, I don't either.
if Bob did it, would probably sound like Bob
Kermit.
doing Kermit the
Yeah.
Frog.
Do you have open
We've established that.
buttons on the mixer?
So technically,
That's a good button.
I can't just populate them with
Piggies.
with garbage.
Yeah.
But I'll appeal to
You
You
Bob's.
only have 2.
I'll appeal to Bob's.
what?
2 buttons.
No, I got 8 buttons, and
Well,
each one of them, I can program each one of them twice.
And that's what I was looking for.
Oh, but I was going to say, you have me, Cory, and what else?
We don't need.
I've got the intro and the
Yeah.
outro music.
Oh, okay.
And-
It's like you have 14
and-
slots to fill.
No, those are ones I've replaced. The rest are sort of stock sounds. Which I haven't really found too much of a use for other than the rim shot and the time travel music.
So the secondary button, would that be a double tap?
I honestly don't know how to enable the second bank. We've not gotten that far yet.
Okay. Oh boy.
Sorry to disappoint.
Well, if we're going to reference Joe's...
We've not gotten that far yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, turn off the fucking
No.
video on the... If you're going to pull this up.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
No, I'm just saying.
Right now, those ants are singing. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. If anyone was listening.
Helps us infestate Nick's basement.
Right.
So tell us who you are and what you do on the show.
You want to know who I am and what do I do? Is that a serious question?
Let's cut.
I am Miss Piggy, the star of Uplinked with Miss Piggy. What can you expect from the show? Well, of course. What else would you want to see? I mean, we're going to have guests and stuff too, I suppose.
That was kind of a muddled, like, new age Miss Piggy. That's not the original.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
that's
not the original,
That's
no.
not Frank
But,
Ellis. No.
no, it is.
Is it?
I was just
That-
going to ask if anybody knew who did the voice.
Frank Ellis does.
Yeah. Same guy who did the voice of Yoda.
No, that does not sound like Miss Piggy.
If you look up Muppets Take Manhattan, Gregory Hines, you'll hear Miss Piggy scream.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Prob-
the
You
if
probably
you're
should have
interested.
mentioned that to him
Well, I
earlier.
was
Yeah, that
passing
would've
him
been
on his
nice.
shoulder, but he wasn't looking at me.
Gregory Hines, the heir to the ketchup fortune.
Yes, that Hines. Dancer and ketchup
You know-
heir.
And cousin to
you know,
Prector, who lived under
Along those lines, I honestly gave a lot of thought to a new segment for
Muppets
tonight
Take
in which
Manhattan.
we have a list of historical figures, and I point a
Gregory
finger to
Hines.
Cory, let's say, for example, and
Yeah.
say, boom, Julius Caesar. What did he do?
Oh, well, that would just show how moronic all of us are.
No, it's his job to joke his way out of it. It doesn't have to be accurate. It doesn't have to
Won't
be...
they just make us look I have no idea.
Hey.
Nick, this is a comedy podcast.
We're
We're not here for historical references.
No,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No, it's done.
I think there should be a segment called "Do Your Best," such and such voice, where we point to
Good
different
idea.
people in the podcast who we
To do
know
impressions.
to do an impression.
Oh, I
Do
don't
your
like that.
best.
You're the only one who can do them.
But that's
So-
the greatness of
Impressions.
if
That's
ever-
the greatness because only you can do them. Okay.
Cause I can't do
Yeah,
all. I
have
can't. Do,
impressions.
I would have
Oh,
horrible
so let's
impressions.
make a segment in which we highlight everyone else who can't do them.
But nobody wants to hear someone that does amazing impressions. They want to hear.
Yes, that's
No,
that's
I
all
agree
they
with-
want
I
to
agree
hear.
with Nick. That you'll get the bigger laugh out of
Right.
somebody trying to do
On the
impressions.
fly, like Cory, do your best, so and so. And
No.
Well, look, I'm willing to try, but I already know that Danielle will never try. We've been over this like many times. Cory won't try. He won't even do the fucking mail voice.
Gotta hold
The mailbag.
I got a whole freezer.
looks like the paper boys bring me some good news.
Okay, now this is just going off the rails. Cory, what do you got?
Be jealous.
You pull up something?
I found the video Joe was actually
All
talking
right,
about.
let's watch that.
This
and
is-
we'll move on.
Digital.
Well,
Great Miss Piggy scream. And she's mad the whole way.
Sorry. So tell for the listeners who are following along, if they want to do this on their own, they're going to YouTube and what are they searching for?
Joe, you can give them that information because that's where I got it.
Oh, so
you
go.
tell me what you said. You search for Muppets Take Manhattan, Gregory Hines.
Yes. And this is the.
The number one, the first one that comes up.
Let's get past the ad here and then.
Yeah.
Do they say more cheese?
Skip ad, bottom right.
Are they little Muppet mouses that say more cheeses for these Mises?
Yes.
Sound.
Sightseeing!
But you're supposed to be out of town.
Yeah.
I do not wish to discuss it in present company.
Oh, Piggy.
That's okay, Kermit. I'll see you back at Pete's.
Okay.
I'm glad you're not hurt, Miss Piggy.
Piggy. Listen. What's going on?
Well, You is certainly looking different now. No gold chains, no shirt cut to the navel, no tooth quelle difference.
What's with all this French stuff?
By sheer chance, I happen to learn French and get a job interpreting a few UN.
What? Can I get my skates back, please?
No, sorry.
Hey, just a second now. How did you know about
Hey,
that?
Joe.
None of your beeswax!
Her purse gets
Hey,
stolen.
have you been spying on me?
I'll
unlace it.
for no reason.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's when her purse gets stolen right before this, and she puts on his roller skates and chases after the guy.
All right. So this
I'm
is
sorry.
this is a great example of maybe it's not necessarily the best thing to try to look for it and bring it up while we're on the air.
This is all, the whole podcast is shooting from the hip.
Well, there's shooting from the hip and there's pulling shit out of your ass. There's
Well,
two different things.
Snip, snip, right, man?
I'd rather not. Let's not try to make a whole bunch of shit that I have to.
I'll find the clip
Yep.
for
and
next
you'll
week.
let us know.
Okay, I apologize.
That's all right.
When your friends from Facebook ask you what time they stopped listening to the podcast,
When that Miss Piggy came out.
But we did talk about something as far as the Schnozzcast Schnotz that we would open up to the listeners.
Yes, we did. We talked about. All right, for the listeners, if you don't, I'm gonna tell you.
Let that marinate.
Yep, you can email us at Schnozzcast. That's SCHNOZZCAST @gmail.com. Schnozzcast@gmail.com. Email us with any of your existential questions or comments for the podcast. We will absolutely read your shit on the air and give you total credit and try to address it on the next episode. But given that, we would like to offer. Look, when we do shots on the Schnozzcast, we always do Fireball. It's been a long-standing tradition.
And listen, boys, this is where it gets a little hairy.
Yeah, but we are absolutely willing to take your suggestions for other shots that we should be doing. If there's another shot you want us to do, and you're willing to do it with us, obviously we're going to take it at your word that you're doing it with us. Send us your comments. Send us your shot recipes. I'd like to see you guys do this shot, and we will do our best to make it happen.
Even if it takes some mixing and some muddling.
Yes, both mixing and muddling.
I'm going to say hard no.
The snippets and the clippets. We'll do it all.
I want to see you guys do a shot of.
We want your emails.
There is absolutely no muddling in this basement.
Give us your emails. Tell us what you'd like to see us do, and we will pull those emails out and try to respond as best we can. That's our commitment.
I think it's a great idea.
As the #1 rated podcast in my brain, the best podcast in the history of communication of any medium,
That is also
I think it's something
you
that we should do.
It's the #1 podcast on Nick. What street you live on?
Yeah, we're absolutely committing to that. So we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to do. What kind of shots you'd like to see us do.
That could.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Could
Nick's-
be.
Well,
Well, the
yeah,
whole
it's
idea is
squash,
we're going to get such
strawberry,
an
alley.
avalanche of email. We're going to get to cherry pick from that avalanche and do whatever we want to do.
Are we?
Yeah.
I
Are we
have to
gonna
say,
get an avalanche
Yeah,
of
we
emails?
are.
they have to be shots that are available in the little bottles, though. Because if you're going to have to buy a pint, he's going to have
Yes,
God
I'll put
knows how
that.
much
That's a
alcohol.
great point. I'll put that caveat on there.
tiny ones.
I'll put that caveat in there. It should not require me to buy a fifth of anything you do.
Wait a second there, George. Wait a second. Seinfeld, Mr.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was more to that.
Actual point.
Mr. Steinbrenner.
Okay. But
So-
that's a legitimate point. Good point, Joe.
But as long as we can
Yeah.
buy even a half pint of whatever the liquor that's involved.
half pint should be the most we should be buying to make the shot.
2
Right.
liters. Just leave them at my house. Leave
Toi-
them
toilet
at my house, boys.
prison wine.
Yeah, unopened, right by the
Unopened,
by the
boys.
deep freezer.
Ferda.
Maybe I'll drink it on a rainy day, boys. Ferda.
But I think that's a good idea. Put it
Yeah,
out
we're
to-
putting out the call right now.
There you go.
We want to hear from you.
Your inbox is going to be full.
I hope so.
God, I fucking hope so, dude. I would literally
do
get
like
my
300
left.
shots.
Yes, that's what we want.
Fermented chicken drink.
Oh.
No, it should be a legitimate.
Yeah,
like,
right. And
if
yeah,
I
not,
look,
not,
I should be able to look it up on the internet and go like, oh, this kind of shot, like
Another Seinfeld.
I'm trying to think of the name of a shot. Three Wise Men.
Oh.
yeah, nothing that would
Four
get us
Horsemen, even worse.
sick.
If someone sent us to Three Wise Men, like we would do it. Absolutely.
That's the problem, Bob. They're not sending us anything. They're going to give a recommendation, and we're going to have to go buy Jim, Jack, Jose.
Then we'll do it.
Okay.
I can do it.
That's the commitment.
That's a commitment. Absolutely.
I know I'm not here all the time.
We want audience involvement.
I will not.
Yeah.
Do Bacardio. So if that comes in the inbox, I
Fucking agreed.
100% will
Fucking
not.
embarrassing.
Because
Fucking
if I do
agreed.
it, I'll barf everywhere.
Fucking embarrassing.
I got sick off of that shit at Central when I was 19.
Yeah, you were 19. How old are you now?
I'm 36.
So
If you put it in front of
get
me,
over it, sir. That was almost half your life ago.
Hey, Joe, how are you? Old are you now?
that's how bad it was.
My heart goes straight back
All
to
right,
how are you
you're-
now?
I wish
know-
that was a good boost.
You know what? You're not here often enough for you to really be worried about this
That's what I said.
proclamation I've just made. So you'll be fine. We'll be fine.
So I've got this pizza fermented vodka. It's got a lot of yeast and dough.
Let me ring the pizza out.
Right. There's a rag that we use to proof the dough. What I do is I wring it out with all the yeast water, and then I ferment it into a vodka.
Sounds tasty.
Look, don't get us wrong. We would love for you guys to email us with anything. It could be a question, something you need advice on. Hey, my girlfriend's cheating on me. What should I do? Go into the details, and we'll give you advice.
Dump her. Next.
Say, should we?
Yeah, we absolutely will.
Okay,
That's easy.
all right.
Those are softballs, dude.
Fair enough.
This isn't Dr. Fraser Crane.
It might be. Don't shit on fucking Fraser
What's
Crane.
new?
Oh.
I'm listening.
Right. Feeling blue.
I'm listening. Feeling bad, feeling mad, feeling sad, feeling glad. I'm listening.
That's right.
Toss
We the
salads
only
and
one. There you go.
scrambled eggs.
Well, at least Bob knows something about
Hey,
it.
baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salads and scrambled eggs. That's right.
Quite nice.
If I knew the next verse, I would.
Oh,
absolutely
baby,
say
I seem a bit confused. But
maybe, but I've got you pegged.
But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
They're calling again. Good night, everybody.
How long you been waiting for that one?
Oh, fuck. Years.
Eh?
Goddamn years.
Niles gotta have it.
So, long story short, please email us with your questions. If you'd like, if you've got a favorite shot that you'd like to do with us, let us know what it is. We'd be happy to do it with you.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
The other news
Oh,
that
shit.
Ooh. We've never gotten to the point
Do tell.
in our podcast where we've reached other news.
well, it's not
This is
booze
like-
news. This is just other
Other news.
Yeah.
news. Yes.
Yeah, we've never had another news segment.
When we went to Letterkenny Live and the place that we found ourselves at before, the Detroit Shipping Company.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's other news. Is it other news?
Well, it's
That could be a pick of the week.
Sure, absolutely.
well, that
And I
place
feel
could
like
be.
a real dick if I took the pick of the week over Nick. Because I feel like that's really, that would be his pick.
No, I mean not because
Yeah.
not because I discovered it and told us to go there. I mean,
Fuck
come on.
me.
Well, originally, you guys were going to go to the Temple Bar that didn't serve
Okay.
food.
Yeah.
And who said? So Bob said.
This is goddamn Tony Stark
Bob.
moment here.
Bob goes. Hey,
I'm
man.
just the one that pays for everything and makes us all look cool. That's fine.
No, he
Give
goes.
me all the credit.
He goes. First we walked into Founders, which was Bob's recommendation, and
Terrible recommendation, by the way. Thank you.
Well, it would have been.
No,
great.
hold on.
It would've
Back
been
up, back up.
It would have been
Back
great.
up. So we're going to Letterkenny. Let's get the whole story. We're going to Letterkenny Live. We needed to meet downtown before we go to the show, which was at the Masonic Temple.
Right. Keep going.
Downtown Detroit. So no one else is doing it. So I go, hey, how about Founders? I'm looking at the map. It's real close. Let's go to Founders. I've heard they have good food. I'm looking at the reviews. I know they have good beer.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, Cory. I did not think about they don't serve
Yeah, no liquor.
Right. But no one's like, I won't go there. But it's like, okay. So
Nick
so-
made the recommendation to park at work,
Instead of
I
taking
went
Uber.
down. I went downtown with Nick. Nick drove, or I drove, but Nick had Nick has said, "Hey, let's not park on the street. Let's go. It's going to be several blocks away, but we're going to go park for free. No problem." I'm like, okay.
Bob's like, "Hey, $25 parking. What do you think?"
Danielle and Cory. Danielle was going down there by herself, and somehow she was joined by Cory on the way. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but Nick and I parked, and we're trying to walk back, and Nick's like, "Hey, they got these scooters in Detroit, and there's an app. Like, you could just pay like $1 for the scooter." And I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing! I want to do that." So the whole way back, we're trying to look for these scooters. We're in this sort of like West Side Story cage match with these other kids who are trying to take all the scooters, and we can't get one. And finally, we got 2 scooters, and we're going. And meanwhile, Cory's like, "Oh, we're here." So we're trying to get there.
Gallivanting on scooters.
But because we're gallivanting on the scooters, we're just kind of going like 2 blocks down, 2 blocks over, and then trying to look at the map and go like, "Oh, how far away are we now?" And I feel like, I don't know if Nick felt this way, but I feel like I'm getting carried away with being on a scooter. Like, I just want to scooter around everywhere.
Yeah, we
So we stop, and then I'm looking at the map, and the fucking sun's bright, and I'm trying to look at it, and I'm like, man, I like, are you seeing where I'm, like, which direction do we need to go? So I'm feeling like I don't know where to go. I'm showing Nick the phone. He's looking at it going, "Oh, we should go here." We go there, not the same way, so we need to look back, and we go back the other way. Neither one of us know what to do on the map. So we're trying to find our way back to Founders.
One question though about that.
Yeah.
And I think you just touched on it.
Yeah.
At any point, even though it was taking us like 30, 40 minutes, because we tried to get there so much earlier just so we could actually sit down and relax. At any point, zipping around on scooters through Detroit, were you ever disappointed that we were running late?
No.
No. I was like, it means we gotta
get there when we get there.
Drive more on these scooters. That's great.
Well, he's clearly there now. So my concern was that Danielle was leaving there without you. She was getting down there by herself, and she's going to be sitting there waiting for us. I'm like, but once I got your text, like, you're like, "We're here. We got a table at the back." I'm like, "Oh, she's good. We'll get there when we get there." I'm fine with it.
So it's okay for you to do.
To do what?
Get there when you get there. But when I say something like that.
Well, here's the thing.
We're generally waiting for you in the podcast.
And we were genuinely trying to get there, and I think the scales are a little tipsy.
You were genuinely trying to get there. You just had said that you were zipping around downtown trying to...
We had no idea because of the sun and everything else, and we were looking at streets. It was, because we couldn't see the phone
legitimately trying to get there, but neither one of us could figure out these fucking directions.
We were just saying we weren't disappointed that we were not getting there quickly.
The pressure was off once I saw that you were there, and she wasn't by herself. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
they'll be fine.
We both showed up at the same time.
They'll be fine." So they got to Founders, and we finally got to Founders, parked our fucking scooters right in the front. We walk in, and it's fucking packed, utterly packed. And
yeah, it was. Dude,
the
entire bar, place was insanely packed.
And I finally see Cory and Danielle, and they're at a 2-top, but with 1 chair. Danielle's sitting and Cory's standing, which, by the way,
amazing.
Don't feel bad for Cory, because Cory would rather stand than sit. So we get there.
Only unless he's told that he can't sit.
Right.
Then he's upset about it.
Now he's upset. All I want to do is sit now. They both had a drink. Right, Cory?
Nope.
Right, Nick? They both had a drink.
No, I only Coke because there was nothing there that I wanted to drink.
To give you guys a quick picture.
You could have had whatever you wanted. You chose a Coke. You had a drink. You ordered your food.
No, I couldn't have had whatever I wanted.
They didn't have liquor.
You could have had whatever you wanted from what they offered. You opted for a Coke.
Yeah.
You had a drink. She had a drink. You ordered food. You had the puck there, sitting there, waiting for you to tell you when your food is ready. Nick and I walked in. Nowhere for us to sit. Long ass line to get a beer. Even longer line to get food. So I look at him. He looks at me. And I'm like, "Are you hungry?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm starving." I'm like, "Well, we got to go look for something else."
To give you guys, just to paint a quick picture of this place, I'd never been there. Imagine a very cool, like, industrial looking bar, the size of almost an airplane hangar.
Yeah.
With everyone standing asses to elbows, and a line of 50 people to get food and 50 people to get drinks.
I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people will be out, right.
Founders is right behind Masonic, right?
Yeah.
It's like 1 block off.
Yeah, when we went and saw Schitt's Creek at the Masonic, there were 100 people standing outside trying to get in.
Of Founders.
Of Founders, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know that because I'd never been there before. But I'm like, oh, let's give it a try. So I look at Nick. He looks at me. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, we gotta go. Because we got the show coming up. I'm like, we can't stand in this longest line.
We feasibly couldn't get a drink. We couldn't get food, and we couldn't sit down.
And I know there's the Temple Bar around the corner. I've also never been there, just like I've never been to Founders. I'm like, let's go to Temple Bar. So we leave. We're like, oh, we'll text you and we'll catch up with you after. We're gonna try to go get something to eat. So we go to Temple Bar. And Temple Bar is a hole in the wall. I'm sure it's a great bar, but they don't serve food, and so
it's not a great
automatically they're like, okay, we gotta leave. And as I'm leaving, Cory's like, and he called me. He's like, "You just find somewhere? We could Temple Bar." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's no food here." Oh, but do they serve vodka?
Was the temple busy?
They do serve vodka.
No, it was.
But there's no food,
Joe. It was like when you walked in, it smelled like someone's old house, and it was
mothballs.
Like it was
old lady panties.
Soup. It was a
granny panties and mothballs.
A one room bar.
Yeah.
With maybe 15 people, very very small, dank, with maybe one hanging incandescent bulb.
It's my kind of bar.
It would have been cool maybe to sit there,
Probably.
but there's no kitchen.
But if you're hungry, you
Yeah,
got to go elsewhere to get your food.
A couple beers for dinner.
Nope.
No, you need food for dinner. So we left there, and I'm like, okay, there's other stuff around here, and I can't remember if it was you or me that Googled and found Detroit Shipping Company.
Oh, Bob.
Okay, here's where Nick makes himself look good and makes me look like an asshole.
No, because you were on the phone, so it was definitely not you.
Okay.
You were on the phone. You're like, what? Huh? I don't understand. And I'm like, Bob, we're in Midtown Detroit. There's going to be probably 1 million actual, like, really sweet places near us. And he's like, I don't know. And I don't even think it was Cory. I don't know who you were talking to.
Oh, it was Cory.
Okay.
The whole time.
And I'm like, Bob, right over this way. And he's like, I don't know, man. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like completely blowing me off, not paying
as
attention.
I said, I'm the asshole, and Nick.
I'm literally
Nick
telling exactly
this
what.
is the story of Nick saving the day.
I'm telling what's going on. So I said, "Oh, Detroit Shipping Company." I started looking at some pictures. I was like, "Dude, I've seen this before, but it looks fucking ridiculously huge." I'm like, "There's no. How is this by us? We would see it." And there's like dilapidated houses and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, one finger in the ear, like still talking on the phone. It's windy, and I'm like, Bob, this way. And he's like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, we'll be there. We'll let you know.
Well,
he
in
hangs
my
up the
ears,
phone.
Cory the whole time going, like, where are you going? All right, where are you going to be? Is there food there? Are you sure?
So I
look it up. Tell me. What's the address?
I tell him, I'm like, dude,
he's just desperate to go somewhere where they serve vodka because he can't drink beer there, and it's killing him.
I'm like, dude, this might be a bust. Maybe this place isn't even open right now. And he starts walking. He's like, oh yeah, the place made of shipping containers. I see it right up there. I'm like, you see it where? There's no. It's not here anywhere. He's like, oh yeah, it's beyond those buildings.
And it wasn't necessarily about the drinking aspect.
It's because you couldn't get up and leave.
Well, and yeah.
Yes, it was the drinking aspect.
No,
you
what?
wanted something to drink.
No, it really wasn't. It was about the fact that we were sitting there waiting, and we didn't know how long the food was going to take and all that.
Okay.
So, because even Danielle was like, okay, other people are getting their food, and our little pager's not going off. And so after a little bit, it's like, well, we could easily go up and say, hey, why don't we just cash out for the Coke and for the little flight of beer that Danielle got, and we can meet up with you guys.
You know what I told Bob? I said, how packed that place. You didn't even have a place to sit. There would have been no way for me to get a drink, for him to get a drink, or food right out the window. But what I told Bob was, I'm like, for that matter, Cory and Danielle could literally be like, fuck this. Literally throw 20 down on the table and get up and walk away.
And that was the only reason we would have easily done that.
Yeah.
Except when you walk in, they take your card.
Oh, they had your card.
And they had my card information.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So had I just walked out, I didn't know if
you can't really walk out on your card.
Well, right. And I mean, I had my actual physical card back.
They took your info?
Sure. But they had my info with my card number.
couldn't you walk to the front of the line and be like, look, this is too long. Cash me out for these drinks.
I'm canceling my credit card right now.
Oh, and that's where I was going back and forth. I'm like,
Of course, let's.
Just debating.
should I go up right now and tell them, hey, cancel the food? I'll pay for the drinks we had, and we're out. And so I'm kind of looking around at other people getting food. I'm like, well, okay, they ordered right before we did, so we should be getting ours pretty soon.
Trying to time it up.
Yeah, and I wish I would have canceled it and met up with you guys at Detroit Shipping Company.
Yeah, so long story short, we ended up at Detroit Shipping Company, which is a fucking fantastic place. It's literally shipping containers making up the 2 stories, or is it 3? 2 stories,
Yep.
all around. It's a bar right on the main level, and then multiple restaurants on the first and second floor, and then there's a couple businesses in there as well. So if you live in or near downtown Detroit and are looking for somewhere else to go with good food and good drink, give Detroit Shipping Company a try. We are not sponsored by them in any way.
No.
No.
To kind of paint a picture, because it almost doesn't do it justice in anything you could describe. It really doesn't. It's an industrial food court that is like the cleanest place I've ever seen in my life. In the middle of Detroit, that's 2 levels, open air, everything's open. You can stand off of like metal railing balconies and the metal slatted floor. It's very industrial looking, but has super amazing food court restaurants. And food court is just because there's all these restaurants in this one area, but there was one restaurant that sold a tomahawk steak the size of my head with a lobster tail. I mean, and every restaurant was like that. It was like Food Network grade fast food court food. And it was like people were Thai stuff and burger stuff and stuff
Giant
watercress on the side of it and
lamb chops.
Some kind of balsamic glaze over the top. And it was like, how is this even a real place? But it was, giant, wooden, really nice, but wooden patio, super long
tables,
and you sat together.
And communal.
You can see it if you went to Old Shillelagh, you went up to the 3rd floor, or if you're at a German
like a beer
Rathskeller. Yeah, absolutely.
But all natural, all natural
Yes.
light. It's all made of shipping containers, all natural light coming in.
See,
bright as hell.
It sounds very tetanus ridden to me.
Because that was
the metal.
Right.
That was my next point. Was that it seems like
hospital.
It seems like a cheap idea to do, but if you go there and actually see it, whoever put that together is an amazing investor in Detroit.
Genius.
And put a lot of money behind the place.
Oh my God, the place.
How long has it been there?
Can't be that long.
A couple of years, for sure.
But it's like, the food is...
I was going to say, after that plug, there'll be shipping containers all over.
Dude,
Detroit.
Dude, the food just blows away.
And it's also kind of set back in a neighborhood. It's really not on the mainstream path.
And they're not, they're not like rusty shipping containers, as cool as that might be. No, I know, but I'm saying it's not like, it's like a rustic look. I mean, everything's, sandblasted and sprayed gray. Everything's gray, and you're walking on metal see-through stairs. But it's just very basic, but industrial and high-end food. But the food, I mean, I got a pad thai roll that was literally about, a foot long, with all kinds of different srirachas and all kinds of sauces, served with a basil leaf and an actual tomato on top, and all this crazy stuff and different sauces on the side. And I think it was $10.
Really?
And I could barely
for Detroit.
I could barely eat it all.
That's pretty good for
It
Detroit.
was, and all kinds of craft beer at the bar on tap.
And
was it packed or no?
Oh, it was busy as shit.
Well, I mean, it was wall to wall, but within reason. To wait in line took probably 5 minutes to get a beer. That was it.
Better than Founders.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How?
It seemed like it was going to take a lot longer than that.
Yeah,
how long before the show was this? A couple hours?
Well, we we understood that doors were opening at 6:30, and therefore we figured that they were going to go on stage somewhere between 7:30 and 8. And that's what we're sort of going for. But as we were sitting in Detroit Shipping Company, we heard that they might be going on stage closer to 8 or maybe after than 7:30. So the food I ordered came it took a lot longer than Nick's.
Oh,
So
yeah.
by the time he was done, I was just getting my food. That's when Cory and Danielle got theirs, and then Nick bought them around, and so they had to drink that. So it was probably like 8:05 by the time we walked out of there.
Yeah, and I
Went
mean,
to
you
Masonic.
were going to stand in line anyway at Masonic. We were at when we went and saw Schitt's
we
Creek.
did.
We
And
were
we did.
smack dab in the back of Masonic Temple, and both lines went around the block,
Oh, good.
and we were right in the middle.
But did you
and
have
we waited in line for like an hour and a half.
seats?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did too. And that was the thing. Like, he's like, "Oh, we got to get there and get in line," and both of them did. And I'm like, "No, we have assigned seating. It doesn't matter when we get there. We're going to get to our seats. We have assigned seats. So
Right.
it's fine."
Right.
And by the way, for anybody who cares, Detroit Shipping Company, it looks like they went into business in 2016. So it's probably within the last 3 years they've been in business downtown Detroit. So, look, I'll give my 2 cents on Letterkenny. I thought it was amazing. I thought they did. We saw them in Chicago. Early to mid 2019, sometime last year, we took a road trip and saw them there, and it was their first time they'd ever done the show live, and they'd figured out a way to essentially take the show, take the characters and the actors that play those characters on the road and do a road show that would be satisfying, where no one wants to see them just get up on stage and reenact bits that they did in the show.
Yeah.
But in the course of them coming up with new ways to have the characters interact and how to set up skits and introduce new footage and that sort of stuff, they figured out that there are, if you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of Letterkenny, there are a couple of bits that most people can either quote or they're in love with. And one of those bits is the one where they talk about women and men in pornos. And they talk about how the women sound when they're orgasming in a porn film and how men sound. And there's, the main crew is the lead character Wayne, his buddy Squirrely Dan, and his other buddy Derry, and then Wayne's sister Katie. So there's a female presence there, and they in the show. I couldn't even quote you which season and which episode they did, but at some point they did an episode about the sounds that women make in a porno, and how it's not yes. It's more like yes.
Yes.
Yes is going on.
Exactly. And so then Katie, the female voice of the show, comes up with her interpretation of this is how men sound. Forget about what you think they sound like. This is what they should sound like. It's like, aw, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Aw, fuck. And so
Like that.
they kind of so they've done that in the show in Chicago, and then they came to Detroit. We saw them in Masonic Temple, and they took it to the next level where they decided to make it sort of like a.
They acted it out on stage.
Well,
Not
Stubbs,
just
I
that-
don't necessarily agrees with that because when in pornos we don't always say "oh fuck."
Oh fuck!
Did they have sex on stage?
No, but they're acting out. They're literally sitting in their. There's a certain way that they sit in the lawn chairs, right in front of the fruit stand from the show, and they sort of reenact, in the laneway where they sit for the fruit stand for the scene. So they're all sitting where they normally sit, and it's a very comforting We're like, yeah, that's where we're used to seeing you, exactly in that position, talking in that way. But they're going through the scene and they're essentially acting out like it's a skit, like it's a Monty Python sketch. If that helps you. So yeah, so we're getting the male perspective on how the females sound in porn films, and then we get the female perspective from Katie. And then they kind of stepped it up a notch, where they started to sort of interlayer, and at the end of the skit, they all sort of interlayer that, and then they get the other characters that came off from stage right. They come on, it's Stuart and rolled.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Coach comes on, and they all sort of start, and it's just like a cacophony of like they're all sort of layering their sounds into this, sort of this is what orgasms in porn sound like, and everybody in the crowd is going fucking just batshit crazy to hear this.
Yeah, they're just like talking over each other, and it's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
So
Crabby, if you're listening, this is absolutely new. Come see him with us when they come around again.
So Cory's going to bring up this scene.
And because it's on YouTube, right?
Yep.
So that we can. By the way, hold on, before you play that, do we have shots in here?
Yes, we do.
Let's do them.
So everyone, take a pause.
Yep.
Let's take a pause and do a shot. Bob, do a shot.
I'll do a shot.
Corey, do a shot.
I'll do a shot.
Joe, do a shot.
Okay.
Let's do a shot.
Is that a you?
Woo!
Canadian.
Don't you know? That's
So they're all
Uber.
yeah. So they're actually all legitimately from Canada.
Yeah. Listowel, Ontario.
Is that the hockey player? The meathead?
That's Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
the actual hockey player.
Wayne's the actual real person, and that's one of his best friends. They're both real people that turned to do this show. The rest of them are actually actors and comedians.
Can I ask a question real quick now? I've watched it.
Yeah.
Does it take some time to get going?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'll
give it another shot.
It can.
Jimmy,
I was hooked in the
Like
first
Seinfeld
episode, right,
season 3, it kind of got rolling.
Jimmy said, he's like, I was so ready to turn this off. I had to get through like 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
He's like, this is
all
so
right. I gave it
fucking
2
stupid.
episodes.
Yeah, he's like, even after the 3rd, I'm like, he's like, I don't even know why I keep watching this. He's like, and then all of a sudden, he's like, I was hooked.
All right.
He's like,
I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
I only watched 2.
He made it to like the 4th or 5th episode, and then he said I was laughing my ass off. I was like, all right. And then he went through like another 2 or 3 episodes where he's like, this is goddamn stupid. I'm not sure why I'm continuing to watch this. And then he hit that point where they did something where he's like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
It's high recommend. Have a couple drinks and watch it.
For sure.
I got a drink
For sure. Oh yeah, it's great. It's so much, and they love drinking on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
I'll give it another shot.
So here we go. Got the volume up?
I do.
Well, not so bad.
Can we talk?
Okay.
Talk. In your truck.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit here.
Okay.
Here we go.
So
How'd you make out, Super Chief?
You find the missing Goldie Lake?
You calling Goldie love? It's better Goldie let this go before a Goldie lose my shit.
Oh, take your drink, you Goldie Lush.
Tread Goldie lightly. So it's no toker in then? It's impolite to kiss and tell. Nothing wrong with a little stank on the hang-down.
Nothing wrong with a little taking it out in the trades.
A little hizzin' in the skizzin'.
Hell, I know there's nothing wrong with a little going to the boneyard. I know that. Nothing wrong with a little bacon making.
Nothing wrong with a little shot twixt winds and waters.
A little building the blanket monster.
I know there's nothing wrong with a little pituitary poke. I know that. Nothing wrong with a little making the beast with 2 backs.
Making feet for children's stockings.
Testing the tube state.
Look, I know there's nothing wrong with a little crawl up the skin slide. I know that. Nothing wrong with a little yes. Just pump the brakes right there. I got a question, have at her. Then I got a comment.
Well, let's hear it, good buddy.
Now my question. When have you ever heard a girl go, yes, 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 yes? Well, other than in a porno. Gotta believe I have.
Me neither.
That's because we don't say that.
Well,
Not unless it's in a porno.
now my comment. You see, the way Derry did the yes, 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 yeses is not the way they do the yes, 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 and in pornos. That's the way they do it.
The girl gets all excited and she goes, yes.
But the way you're doing the yes is not the way they do the yes.
Yes, it is the way they do it. They go, yes. That's exactly how they do it.
No, they don't. What they do is they find a super high pitch for those first 4 yeses, and then they come in all dramatic for that final yes. So it goes a little something like yes, and then they get all dramatic for that final yes. Say yes.
I don't think that's how they do it.
I'd have to hear it again.
Yes.
Yeah, porno girls do that, but only when the porno guys aren't busy finding some super low tone and repeating over and over again, ah, fuck, ah, fuck.
I takes a bit of offense to that, Miss Katie. Says I have a naturally low voice, and I do like to say, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Except when I don't do it in pornos.
Well, then you should do voiceovers for English dub foreign pornos, Dan, because that was a textbook, ah, fuck, ah, fuck.
Well, thank you, Miss Katie. I've never had any complaints from any of my sexual companions about my oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Let me hear yours, Derek.
What, I'm confused still on the yeses. So, Wayne, it's like, yes.
See, it's not as if it's a fucking question, Derry, is it? You're saying like it's a question.
So it's like, yes.
You get closer, Derry, but see what you want to do is put a little pepper on the end of it. You just want to put a little pepper on the end of it. Like, yes!
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Like,
Yes.
Like,
Just having a fight with her.
Like, yes!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I'm hooked.
Just like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
See this show.
No, I get it.
Just like, I don't want to laugh too much at this. How am I gonna shit all over this when it's clearly funny and making me laugh?
Oh no, he'll find a way.
There you go.
But yeah, that was. But they don't like they'll. To quote Wayne about the pepper, they'll pepper in some of this that's actually been done, but they've got new stuff as well, and then they've got stand up, where Mark Forward, who's an actual brilliant stand up comedian, and K. Trevor Wilson, who was the bigger guy. They'll come in, so he'll say something like, well, we got this guy who kind of looks like our coach, but he's not our coach, and his name is Mark Forward. And they'll come in and he'll do the stand-up.
And on top of that, too, I think you'd really like Mark Forward because his comedy is very, very dark.
Very up your alley.
Mark or down your alley. Either way, that's fine.
That's Mark Forward.
But like forward pass?
Yes.
No, not forward in the past. Forward like forward.
Yeah,
in the future.
No, I said
Back to the
forward
Future?
pass. Like throwing a forward pass?
I don't
Like
understand
Marty
that
McFly?
reference.
It's spelled
Doc
that way,
Brown?
forward.
Yes, that's how
But
it's
it was a
spelled.
sports reference. And I
The
don't understand.
Libyans.
What are sports? I don't understand sports.
What is that you speak of?
Is football?
All right. So, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just going to say, what season was that? 2?
Do you know? If you go back.
Oh my
Maybe
God,
I'll
you
tell
guys
you.
aren't fans.
No, we're not that. It hasn't been out that long. It's not like Friends where it's been out for 30 years.
I'm kidding.
And that was like season 6.
Do they write this, or do they have writers that write it?
Jared Kiso writes it
yeah.
with
The
his
big
right. He's got a writing partner, and the two of them have written every episode. So.
And actually, we saw like on a lot of the screens at Letterkenny live that surprisingly, Jared Kiso, who's not a professional writer or comedian, writes a lot of it.
Or hockey player.
He writes it with his buddy, but he also gets helped from Mark Forward, who's an actual comedian, and he helps him write a lot of the jokes.
Yeah.
Which is great because he obviously has a niche for it. Jared Kiso obviously knows what he's doing, and he has some visions. But Mark Forward comes in there with, okay, I actually do stand up. Let's add a couple of this.
Yeah. He's coming in with the sense of timing from a stand-up comedian that Jared doesn't have.
That's the hard part, is the writing and the timing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because you can write it funny, but if you don't perform it, timing-wise, doesn't work.
Right, I get that, but at the same turnaround, for Jared Kiso to not have a background in it and to write the way he does, I got to give the guy props. You know, he left a hockey career to make this show, and it's become such a huge thing. And literally at the end of the show, when they were all doing their going out, whatever you want to call it, he was almost in tears.
Oh yeah,
and because he was so appreciative
for the encore, the where they all
everyone
take
takes
a
a bow.
bow. Absolutely, yeah.
He came out and said he's like, I didn't, I couldn't even have in my wildest dreams imagine that this would come to this point.
Oh, I have to imagine.
He was choking up. Man.
Were we the first? Was Detroit the first U.S. date?
Yes,
on this tour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you imagine something that started like that, or even like Kids in the Hall, like something that was just, we did it for whatever, and then you are playing to an audience of what? 40,000?
4,500.
4,500 people?
Yeah.
They're cheering and going nuts.
You know what the cool thing is?
They like my stuff.
Is
right?
he remembers where he came from, so obviously there's a lot of Canadian jokes, but there's a lot of Canadian versus America jokes, like to say how much nicer they are, and well, obviously you guys don't understand that kind of stuff because you hate everybody, and stupid stuff like that, but also per venue. They told maybe 15 minutes of Detroit jokes. Detroit-specific jokes.
Right, so there's segments they do in the show with this hockey player named Shorzy that you never see. Well, you never really actually see his full face. But it is actually Jared Kiso as another character. And for the most part, usually they're in the locker room or on toilets. And
on
toilets?
Yeah, they don't show them.
And they're going back and forth with Jonesy and
It's
Riley.
It's a bathroom scene that they perform on.
Yeah, like they're in stalls and you just see their feet.
Joe's like sold.
So it's like Wilson, but in the bathroom.
Right.
Well,
G.G. Allen would love this.
But imagine this, and I'll let you continue. But imagine this. Imagine all the great shows that, sometimes it's not about what you say, but what you don't say. Yeah. People are always curious about what they don't know. Home Improvement with Wilson. How great of a character he was. He wasn't an amazing character. Nobody could see him.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes every episode.
Maris on Frasier.
Yeah.
Never saw her.
Made up character, nobody ever saw her. There's a lot of characters like that where okay, well this is the main character's voice.
They're a plot device.
Exactly.
Right. And so he does kind of this higher pitched voice for Shorzy. And so they'll be in all three of them, Riley, Jonesy, and Shorzy in stalls at the the arena or the barn as they call it, and they just go back and forth with this banter, and it always ends up with Shorzy saying about how he was fucking their moms. And
nice guy.
But for the Detroit live show, they came up with a bunch of stuff that was all related to Detroit. And the one that,
Michigan, like lower Michigan, yeah.
The one that stuck out to me though was, and I'm not even going to try to impersonate the voice, but
please no, start us off with impersonation.
He's like, "Oh, hey, Riley,
not a good start.
Your mom should dig up Henry Ford's body and give him a blowy, just to thank him for all the F-150s she's been fucked in." I'm like, oh my god!
That's pretty good.
They're fast. You know how they have like that fast delivery?
Yeah.
So it was back and forth, and then it was like, well, you talk like you came from, your mom got fucked in the ass in Kalamazoo, and there was like a lot of that shit. Everyone's just fucking losing it, because everyone's like,
and so as fans, we're sitting there going like, God, I believe. I hope and I believe that they will continue to do this
at every
Cleveland,
and
Cincinnati, and fucking Pittsburgh, wherever they take this tour to, that they'll continue to make it.
Was it improv or was it?
No, they wrote it.
Oh, okay.
But moving from downtown, all you need to do is. But these are not like Brad Pitt actors where they're so insulated. Sorry, Brad Pitt. Let's just say Tom Cruise.
Sorry.
These aren't Tom Cruise actors where they're so insulated from daily life that when they're going to Pittsburgh, they like, I don't know fucking Pittsburgh, like they understand. Like Jared Kiso played minor league hockey all around the Midwest, so he knows. He knows the towns. He knows what. So when they move to Pittsburgh, they're going to tailor that act to change the references to be Pittsburgh references.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the part where you're like, God damn, I hope I have total confidence that you will do that. And God damn, Pittsburgh's in for a hell of a show.
Right.
But I think that is the one good thing that he has under his belt is he has traveled around so much playing hockey that he knows different areas and what goes on in different areas.
Right.
So that definitely plays to his benefit.
And I'm sure they have people that are working in their team where they can go ahead and like scout ahead, and he's probably got friends where he's like, okay, give me the for 2020 hockey season, I've been busy with Letterkenny. Tell me who's making the splashes with the fucking Flyers and the Penguins this year, and I'll give me the names, give me what they like. I'll work them into the jokes. Like it's not that hard to do, but so many people who are traveling as comedians or as performing acts don't take that extra step to really tailor your show to the audience.
Oh, and it was spot on because not only was there the Henry Ford and the F-150 comments, there was talks of Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov and Darren McCarty. Darren McCarty was actually at the show.
Darren McCarty was at the show.
Really?
He announced it.
And everyone knows about their hockey background, about Jared Kiso's hockey background, and they all know that's why they're fans of the show. So he's playing to his base.
Wasn't there something he's like, when she assumes you're a nice guy because you're 15 minutes from Windsor, but then realizes you're an asshole because you're from the States. It's like something stupid like that.
You can't help but laugh at that shit. Like, I'm not taking offense to that.
You know what, though? Like what you said about him, like how he was tearing up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in front of 4,500 people.
Yeah.
You have to think that, like, everybody would have that reaction. Like, if you started something on YouTube and then you got big and then you saw all your fans, you're tearing up. But, like, what happens when you're going out to eat and people are running up to you and they're like, hey, so-and-so.
That's like, what is his actual bedside manner?
Yeah, like, when do you...
But here's
like in front of an audience, you're like, hey, I love you guys.
When do you move from being
I think that's a fine
totally
line.
appreciative...
Yeah, that's a fine line.
Can't believe I'm a star to, like, a big fucking prick. Like,
yeah.
I don't take pictures when I'm eating dinner with my family.
Well, I have to say...
Knows? That's a sliding scale.
Yeah, if I'm on stage, I love you. If I'm not on stage, don't bother me while I'm...
But it would have eating. To be it's a sliding scale on how much it's affecting it and overtaking your life. And I gotta say, we're not following the cast of fucking, Chicago PD. This is Letterkenny, and they're just sort of breaking into the States. So
quite a reference.
They're happy. They're happy for every bit of fan adoration and people who are following their shit to show up to their shows, and it's all sort of glazed in that Canadian appreciativeness, right? That Canadian, like, oh, I can't believe you're here to see us.
I'm sure they're much different than American actors.
Yeah, very humble.
Like,
and very
you bothered me at the airport?
Yeah, they're not dicks like Americans. They're like, well, I can't believe you actually made it all this way, and we had no idea that you would do that. Just humble as fuck.
And from what all the stuff I've seen with Jared Kiso out of character and doing just actual interviews, he's not like, he's very kept to himself. It's not about going out and doing this or that and trying to be in the limelight. He likes to just be in the background. And I would almost go as far as saying, like, him casting himself as Wayne, if he were to go back and redo it, I think he'd rather just kind of be in the background, not the main character.
Mm-hmm. Be like a writer or completely off screen?
Oh yeah, just completely just be a writer for it and be completely off screen and maybe just make a few appearances here and there.
And you could
like you're like the guy mowing the lawn or something.
Yeah.
And you could tell that it's not I get what you're saying, like when everyone's in front of you know, the microphone and the stage. But you get a lot from someone's character, you know, and that doesn't happen on command. He doesn't do that on command. I mean, he was genuinely choked up. It wasn't because he had 4,500 people. You know, it was because he saw, you know, the appreciation that they had, and he probably couldn't ever imagine that.
Oh,
I think he's very down to earth.
I mean, that'd be like, could you imagine us all of a sudden just blowing up and becoming that at that level?
Yes, I could.
Nope.
I can too, but
I'm already there.
But
in my head, we are.
People stop me in Westbourne Market. They're like, "Hey, aren't you?"
Well, and that
shits on everything.
That would be exactly it.
Shit on me right now. Here's what I think about
You're
these
the guy
apples.
that- you're the guy that hates everything.
Tell me how wrong I am about these apples right here.
But that would be the same exact thing because he, like I said, he left a amateur hockey career to do this, and even his own father, and he's mentioned on plenty of interviews that his own dad was like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. Don't do this, because if you do, you're not going to have anything." So to have your own dad tell you that yeah, don't quit your amateur hockey career. He wasn't a pro player. I could fully get it if if he was playing for the Red Wings or Montreal Canadiens, whatever. Don't quit that. But
You know what, though? But hockey's only going to take it to what? 35, maybe 38?
It's fucking hockey.
I mean,
How
he
many
can
times
do
do I have
this.
to tell you?
Well, and
And odds are he's probably going to become a writer for ever.
But that's what he said. He's like, my hockey career is only going to take me so far
All
before
professional sports are like that.
before my body was too fucked up to do anything further with my hockey career. So, and he said, especially being an amateur, you're going 120% all the time.
Oh yeah, he's living in basements and third bedrooms of people's houses.
I mean, and now he's one of, I would say, one of the biggest upcoming stars around.
And if his writing is that valued, he has a career until he's however old, 65.
Oh, and that's one of the interviews he did. He said he has friends of his asking and being like, "Oh, hey, was Stewart based off me?" Because he says that all the characters are based off people he's met and came across throughout his travels.
Yeah.
And he said he's like, "Oh, I got friends. Oh, that character's got to be me." He's like, "No, it's not you. It's a collective bargaining of a lot of people
You
I've
and
met."
4 other guys.
Yeah.
I'd be flattered.
But it's funny because like the skids, as they call them, are so it's a Letterkenny, as you can see, they're in front of a fruit stand in the middle of a farm, and it kind of brings light because you never think of a country aspect to Canada. Guys in plaid shirts, girls in plaid shirts,
moving hay and
Mounties
sitting out. That's not something you think of, but when you look at how big Canada, I mean, it's ridiculous how big Canada is. And it's like, so they act, they have like a country, like homestead kind of side to them. And this is what brings that out. I mean, middle of nowhere farming, because you just think, oh, Canada, cold.
All right.
Polar bears. Yeah. Maple leaves and hockey. But there is a lot of those communities out there. I mean, understandably so.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what he built it off of. And seeing all those people and different character aspects, he built a show up.
But yes, Stewart is is him and like three or four guys. Like they meet outside of convenience stores and do stuff like outside of high school, and they're like goth, and they just
like Jay and Silent Bob.
Like very much so.
Yeah, completely goth.
Rip off.
No, but like black hair, big boots, eyeliner,
different
chains,
take on an old school trope.
Where they're just like dancing to like crazy techno music. And it's like everyone had the goth kids in high school, the couple goth kids, So it's funny for someone to actually capitalize on that.
Yeah, no, and he did a very good job at it. So, but to come full circle back to where I was originally going with this.
Okay, all right.
Suicide knob style?
The podcast Detroit in the Detroit Shipping Company.
Yeah.
Was what I was originally referring to.
Okay.
And trying to reach out to them. And
Podcast Detroit, if you're listening, which I know you're not.
You never know.
You need us there.
Yeah. So, Cory, just to touch on that, explain to Joe and the listeners this very smooth transition. The podcast Detroit. Where is it, and how did you come about
Hold on.
it?
To make it even a smoother transition.
Let's do a shot.
Bob, you want to do a shot?
I'll do a shot.
Let's do a shot.
Here we go. Oh, now we're all doing shots, man. Oh.
Whew.
I got the balls.
Before
Full body lock.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard
Body
that.
lockout.
Oh, that was an OP
The whole
from
time
the
you were talking about that, I'm like, traction? Is that what you're going for? Like, where you can't move everything? You're in a body cast? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what he's going for.
Well, you gotta tell
Real
the story.
quick.
You gotta tell the story.
Real quick, and then I'll let Cory go. And,
Oh, thank you, Joe.
no, but like,
You show up.
would you rather be, just one word answers.
Yeah.
One sentence. Would you rather be the creator of the show, the writer of the show, that kind of made that guy
I'd
mowing the
rather
lawn
be
appearance, or would you
under
rather
the
be a
sea
star of
in
the
an
show?
octopus's garden.
Do you want to be? No. Would you rather be like the Bernie Taupin?
Oh, the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, I would rather be Bernie Taupin. I don't want to act. I don't want everyone to know who I am.
No, I would rather be.
I'll be the
frontman.
guy on the lawnmower.
I would rather be the Jared Kiso than his writing partner.
So the star? Or?
Yeah.
Really? Dude, the fame.
If I could, I mean.
Yeah, but the fame
Maybe
will
I
get you.
could.
I'd rather be behind the curtain.
With the fame? No, I'd be
Then
the
I
frontman.
then I'd be like, Bob, go for it.
No,
Get all the
I'd
stars.
totally be the front man.
Ooh, not me. Go ahead, Cory.
Oh, thank
I just
you.
wanted to know. Wait.
So, the
Start.
podcast Detroit
Yeah.
that is located, well, so they have one main office in Royal Oak, Michigan, and then as we just found out when we went down to the Detroit Shipping Company, they have a little offset studio in the Detroit Shipping Company.
Yeah.
And they have quite of a nice setup.
Sorry?
Sorry, one more time.
Quiet nights?
A quite nice setup.
It sounds like a failed Phil
Quite
Collins song.
a nice?
Yes, quite a
sounds
nice
like
setup.
a Phil Collins B-side.
I can feel.
But they have a little studio set up there that apparently people can rent out and do any sort of amateur podcast from.
Oh, you've got my attention now.
It's
Amateur
like-
podcast.
It sounds sticky.
Quiet night.
But
I'm sure you can do that anywhere. Though.
Well, as we do here.
Well, yeah. Most would argue that what we're doing here is amateurish at best.
But
Shit, I can call Applebee's and get us a booth. Be like, save that
Wow.
for us.
You know what? I could rip on us all day
Live
long.
from Applebee.
I could rip on us all day long. But it's totally something else to have Joe come here and shit all over us.
I wasn't
I gotta
shitting,
tell
I
you.
was just saying.
It's an extra level of pain, like a psychic pain, like a deep in your soul, like.
Okay, guys, now we're going to go to the downstairs bathroom camera. Look at that bush.
Sorry, Kurt. Continue, sir.
It's like a frightened turtle.
He's like, God damn it, you motherfuckers! I want to be able to put a fucking graphic on the video. And just
no, this
go to my
isn't-
story.
This isn't even
Stop
about
interrupting my story.
It's not about a graphic or anything like that. It's actually about trying to make a partnership.
Okay.
So, Podcast Detroit
Yeah.
has a studio down at the Detroit Shipping Company, as well, only I saw.
So does it really exist? If you're the only one that saw it.
Yeah, it's actually there.
Okay, Cory.
All right. Well,
Are we booked? Are we going to be there next week?
all right. Keep shooting on it. I'll leave the story alone then.
Go ahead, Cory. No, seriously, finish it up.
Nope, all good.
We actually did read a sign.
Cory, God damn it.
He has a breaking point, and it's usually with me
We're at 3:05.
because he deals with me more.
Seriously, stop interrupting a story. Go ahead, Cory.
No, I'm all set.
Oh,
We won't.
Really?
Yeah, no, we won't do anything with Detroit podcast.
Okay. All right.
It would have been a great idea to partner
Would
with
have
them.
been if we'd let you finish it. Your thought.
It could have been, yes.
Joe interrupts Cory 15 times.
I'll
I
cut,
do it
I'll
once.
cut all of this.
I
out.
do it
It's
once.
Well, I had questions
I'll cut.
about Letterkenny. I'm interested.
We did see a sign, though.
He was saying,
You did.
I don't see.
For the podcast thing
Help me out.
at the shipping
Please.
company.
yeah, he was talking about the Detroit shipping company, how you can rent.
Yeah, I feel it's now a sore subject that Cory doesn't want to talk about.
No, I said I was just trying to help us out.
Yes, you are. No one's shitting on your idea. I'm literally, me personally, I'm waiting for you to finish it.
You guys ripped me apart before.
It's not gonna happen.
Lock the doors. Don't let Joe in.
Yeah. What do we do here if we don't shit all over each other?
Typically what happens, but it is the third half, and this is new territory.
Yeah, third half is always it's a
but
dicey situation.
this is also it was a great business idea.
It doesn't mean it's
We
it's
all
not
want
anymore.
you to finish it. We all want you to continue to finish your idea.
Do you though?
All of us. Joe,
You-
finish?
Yes. No. I'm
I
done.
do.
Joe-
I'm done.
Joe-
I'm not
Joe-
saying. I won't say another word.
Joe, I think he wants you to beg.
Cory, please.
That was the worst begging I've ever heard in my entire
I
life.
said
Jesus
please.
Christ.
No, we really do
Cory,
want you.
I beg you.
Do you actually have info pulled up on it that you can read?
Oh, well, that's what I was working
No,
on.
he doesn't. He's too busy being mad.
He's typing
So, all right,
to somebody.
We're gonna move on.
No, I want to hear what Cory has to say.
Yeah,
Please,
do you?
Cory.
Do you?
I do.
I'm at the point
We
now where
all
I'm like,
do.
I'm not sure I want to hear it now.
No,
No, I wanna
we
hear
do.
it.
We do.
Well,
Honestly.
do we?
Shut up. Everybody shut up. Can you just tell us?
How
read off
many
the thing?
seconds of silence are we gonna sit through here?
We can cut it out. It's fine. No problem.
No, I don't want to cut it out.
Okay.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, this is the studio we could
Oh
be
my
recording
God.
in.
That's amazing, dude.
Man, look at this soundproofing.
So what does that do? Like, what does the corrugated walls do?
It absorbs.
It would dampen down everything. There'd be no feedback whatsoever in any microphone.
So describe to people that can't see right now what we're looking at.
Describe to the blind what we're looking at here.
It's another shipping container that is part of the Detroit Shipping Company, and they set up a studio just for podcasting. So they have put soundproofing inside of it, so there would be no outside noise that would come in.
Mhm.
They have a front set board, which you can't see on this picture, but it's right here. And there's a long table with microphones, headphones already all set up. So it's basically for people that haven't, they don't have the means to go out and do what Bob did and buy, microphones and a mixer and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They can rent this space out and try to start their own podcast. So what we were thinking the other day going down there is finding out how much it costs to possibly rent this out or who even runs it.
Yeah. Did we figure that out?
I did send an email today.
All right.
So we don't know yet, but we asked.
That's my boy.
I did inquire
Okay.
on how we can get in touch with someone that runs whatever area down at the Detroit Shipping Company to let us, where we can start.
So
it's called the what? The Detroit.
Podcast Detroit.
Okay, so Podcast Detroit is not its own podcast, correct? It's a group of podcasts that can come.
It's a group of podcasts that they all put together.
So they provide what?
Well, for most people, they provide the space and the area. Well, basically everything that you would need for a podcast. That's what they provide. And you just have to show up and give the content. So what I'm thinking is that the idea that we already have a podcast,
sure,
is trying to work with them to do something that we could bring some of our own equipment and do like a dual podcast kind of thing.
So to my understanding, okay, so Detroit Podcast, I'm sorry, I swear to God, I already forgot. It's Detroit Podcast.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Podcast Detroit.
Podcast Detroit.
Okay,
yes.
You're like, I fucking forgot too.
Yeah.
So basically at the top of this food court, which I'm sorry, but is absolutely fucking ingenious. But at the top of this, we keep saying shipping containers just because that's what it's made of. But I know y'all have seen shipping container homes that are, oh my God, like 25 of my homes and way more luxurious. But so basically this is at the top of this pristine, like food court.
But their AI robots recognize my voice.
Yep, exactly that. And
You didn't get any of that, but
no.
Really?
Recognize my voice.
AI robots recognize my voice.
Oh, okay. So they're
unlike in Nick's house.
It's at yeah.
Alexa doesn't like you here.
Yeah.
So on the second story. So to my understanding, they have a second story studio that's not usually used by a reoccurring podcast called Podcast Detroit, but it's just a studio that anybody can use. So
yeah,
probably
it's just sitting there basically.
So probably lower level podcasts that aren't out there can go and rent the space. They provide everything: the chairs, the tables, the microphones, complete studio with soundproofing walls and everything like that. And Bob had brought up a good point before you came in, before you had actually gone up and taken a look at it. And it's that on the actual website of Podcast Detroit, once you go on there,
they promote you.
Yeah. They have a list, a scroll down list on their website with your podcast logo for maybe infamy. We don't know. We don't know how long it stays on there. And Cory's going to find out. Thank God he reached out to him. Is that, if we were to go on here, we would broadcast from their studio. Basically, it's just an area to do our business, like my bathroom, and and our logo is going to will stay on there, and they have a higher reach than we do just because of the traffic that they have coming and going.
Right, and well, they also have a very big studio out in Royal Oak that is beyond belief. So it would be awesome to be able to go out there, but this Midtown one would be even better.
Oh, stepping stones. I think this is the natural choice. If it's $500 or whatever it is.
I was just saying, how much is it?
What?
We don't know. It's got to be an
Hopefully
hour.
it's not
got to be an hour.
$500.
I'm
So
saying
maybe 2 hours.
if it is.
Fuck's sake.
It's got to be an hour.
So we'll look at.
By the hour.
Corey's obviously looking into it.
Well, and I already included the link to our iTunes and all that for them to already listen to us and know that we're not just trying to start out. We already got
we're not just a pretty face.
Right.
We're all pretty.
We've already got a base set, and we know how to do the podcasting thing.
Yeah.
We're just looking to partner with you in a way.
Right.
And for those that can't see, that we're looking at the pictures right now. So it's basically they have one giant long table, some really really nice microphones, a bunch of them, at least probably 6 to 8. They've got chairs. The entire studio, including the ceiling and the walls, are checkered with corrugated foam like soundproofing for studios.
Along with the color of that's their logo scheme too, is black and green.
So yeah, so they're checkered with black and green, like almost like leaf armed corrugated foam.
Yeah.
And I guess it probably is more forgiving to sound, and I think that's something that we should probably work towards in the future, wherever we end up.
That soundproofing foam is not cheap.
Oh,
I know it's not.
I can see the microphones,
especially have a whole room padded in.
Dude, Joe, I went up and looked at the setup when we were there while they were eating and doing whatever.
Dope.
Well, it's
assholes.
awesome, but at
No, he only
the
had
same turnaround, the microphones they were using are like $1,000 microphones.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
So, if we could partner with them to do even just one episode, every so often, I think that would skyrocket us.
Yeah, it'd be a huge boon to the podcast.
All right, we're at 3:15 right now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
I'll keep it short. This is like an ideal setting for a podcast.
Oh,
for a
someone who has millions of dollars. Sure.
No, like you want to do like a
Scrooge McDuck podcast.
I catch that.
Scrooge
McDuck. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is an ideal podcast.
This is an actual studio.
What if we did this podcast from an unideal place? Follow me here.
Try.
So, Jason from Uncle Ray's.
Yeah.
They usually have a golf outing, right?
Sure.
So if they have a golf outing, why don't you get the podcast going and see if we can set up in like the middle of the 18th fairway. The smack dab middle, right where the drives are landing. For the entire...
Because you'd be hit with golf balls.
But you're going to watch.
That's the basics.
I see where this is going.
But it's such an odd spot to do a podcast. You
So-
can still talk about
That's why I see
whatever.
where this is going.
You just have to watch out for flying golf balls.
So, to take you seriously and not piggyback with jokes.
You go.
Piggy tail jokes. A lot of
could though.
Yeah, I know. A lot of big podcasters state that, a lot of amateurs choose to, let's just go where we always go. That's not forgiving with sound, and we'll just talk into a microphone, and it's very distracting. So there, of course, I understand that you're in wide open spaces. Not to quote the Dixie Chicks, but but we've talked about that with the crab boil. We've talked about that with the ox roast, doing an on the fly podcast, and it's something that we haven't dipped our feet into the water yet. But it's absolutely
Or like live from like next to the ball pit or in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese.
Nope. Went through that
All right,
last
kids,
episode.
out of here.
We're not getting the ball pit again.
Well, I think the next closest thing to
I will not get into it with Cory.
To what you're thinking
There you
of is coming up this Tuesday for the Schnozzcast podcast St. Patty's Day party.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that because I completely remembered it when I was upstairs pissing, holding my schwanz, and I absolutely forgot about it.
So we will be doing
and we're back
midweek party for St. Patty's Day, and we haven't discussed if it's going to be upstairs in the kitchen yet or down here. But
so Joe, just to piggy tail upon this. So we initially had stated that every year we go with Tony out to Fenton. Where do we go?
Fenton.
No, we don't go to Fenton. No, we don't.
You sure?
Yeah.
Was it Fentone?
No, it's an F word.
All right.
Frankenmuth?
No, out near St. Clair Shores. Sorry.
No. Let him work with that. That's fine.
Regardless. So anyhow, we go out there and we go to this place called Danny's, which is
Ferndale.
Thank you. Oh gosh, why could I not remember that? So we go out to
like 3 F's.
Yes, thank you. We go out to Ferndale every year. I personally have been doing it for about 6 years with Tony, and
I brought Bob this last year. It's a great small little bar owned by people actually from Ireland. They have bagpipers and everything, and it's a great time. Tony got a new job, can't necessarily be there, and I'm like, okay, well, this is quite a hike for us to go without the person that actually established this tradition. So we talked it back and forth, and Bob and I said, well, let's just do something last minute. Let's go to Old Shillelagh. I'd never been there. He's got a big tradition of going there. I'm like, okay.
On St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
But.
That's Founders right there.
Exactly.
No.
You'll be waiting in line.
No.
But
I've been there.
But hold on.
So have I.
It's a moot point, though.
You say it's not busy. I say it's busy.
I said it's not.
It's a moot point because
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
fact
matter.
that it's like a cow's opinion. It's a moose point. But we no, it's a Friends reference.
She been watching him with those eyes.
But we realized that with everything going on with the coronavirus situation, the governor's recommendation of first it was you shouldn't be out in crowds of 100 people or less. Then she actually came down with the decision of that businesses cannot, due to the declared state of emergency, have 250 people or more in one specific area where they would have to shut down. And this specifically, would actually be way more than that. So Bob came up with the great decision. He called me the other night on the phone and said, "Hey man, what would you think about? I still like the idea of 9 in the morning, early in the morning, sometime, hanging out with you guys on St. Patrick's Day. I know we all have it off, and maybe just coming to your house with some libations and hanging out." And I thought that was a great idea. So
I agree.
we spoke on that. He spoke to Mr. Selesky, and between the two of them, they put their heads together, and we said, how about a St. Patty's Day podcast?
I was going to say, why don't we see how long you can roll it?
Bob's like, hey, you know what? I'll bring the Jameson. We'll get some Guinness. If we want to do it, everyone bring their own beer. Maybe we'll do some food, and we'll have an amazing time. And you know what? To me, honestly, in a bar with 500 people, I would rather be with you guys any day of the week.
Wait, I don't want to go out and drink
Any
crappy
day.
green beer and
And
girls are like, here, put the shamrock over your neck.
Yeah.
As
Can I have a kiss? No.
Disgusting.
And they run away.
Disgusting.
as it stands, when I was out getting provisions for the house for the coronavirus, I was able to secure 4.5 pound corned beef.
Damn.
Roast.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's up in the fridge.
Meat market, they're cleaning, like everybody's out of meat.
It's
for some reason.
It's seriously about that
I
big.
figured they'd buy canned goods,
We
but
can
no.
we can put it in the slow cooker.
Yeah, Cory's
Yeah,
been
there you
asking for meat for weeks.
Oh, of course.
I know.
Always want the
All
meat.
meat
I know.
you get.
I know.
All
Cory
the meat you
doesn't.
can swallow.
I know Cory doesn't like this aspect of it, but for you guys that do,
Beer.
I've got a full head of cabbage. I've got carrots. I've got
So I'll
sauerkraut, and I've got marble rye that we can.
Oh, the
Nope. Rye bread.
Whatever the spectrum.
Jesus Christ.
I'll bring my own food then because I hate corned beef.
Okay.
How do you hate corned beef?
It's
Pretty good. In a slow cooker?
disgusting.
Oh, tender as
And-
shit.
and that-
you don't even
and-
have to chew it.
And so the story we talked about on the way here.
Yeah.
Guess what was made for dinner tonight?
No idea.
Corned beef. And
Your mom made corned beef?
no, my mom would never make corned beef.
Cabbage.
Wouldn't even make cabbage.
So again, you're all more than welcome to have whatever you'd like that day.
All right.
But I'm gonna wake
Yeah.
up a little bit early, throw it in there. So while we're doing the podcast, it's cooking. And
Tuesday.
we can,
All right.
we can have food.
So bring the sous vide as well.
I think we could have
Why
enough
why
content.
am I bringing this?
I have one. I have some.
Why?
I'll bring a steak.
Cory, I have a sous vide you can steak.
Okay.
I have a sous
I have
vide
a
you
steak
can
you
cook.
sous vide.
I was going to say, you have a sous vide you can steak? What is that?
A sous vide you can cook a steak with.
All right.
My sous vide.
We're at 325, ladies and gentlemen.
Have you ever done a 3-parter?
This is it.
No.
First? I'm glad I was here.
This third half has lasted longer than the first
Glad
two.
I was here.
So let's type on it right now.
You know what?
Can we do that?
And in the next, what?
No,
we got
I
two.
guess not.
No,
I
no,
guess
no,
we
wait,
can.
wait. We got 2 days. St. Patty's Day's on Tuesday, right?
Generally, yeah.
Yep, this
I think
Tuesday.
we could come up with good content where we could roll the podcast for 4 or 5 hours if we wanted to. How's that Guinness taste? It's good. You like your Guinness, Bob? That's good. Corey, how's your vodka? It's delicious. Next topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 63 for the Schnozzcast. Thank you for joining us.
A very long one.
It's been many hours since we started.
Yes.
Many, many, many hours.
But we're saying goodbye right now. This is Bob saying goodbye. Nick,
Have a good night.
Corey,
Oh, hey, good night.
Joe.
Detroit Shipwreck Company, we love you. Is that what it's called? Shipwreck Company?
Yeah, well done.